Okay, in this video we're going to discuss creases. Now, creases and sharps, especially among beginners, are oftentimes confused. Creases are to be used with subsurf pretty much all the time. So, in hard surface, we use subsurf not too much, but if we do, it's usually at the top of the stack, just to increase the mesh density from the get-go. So, say for example, I add in a subsurf by pressing Ctrl 3, so it gives us a subsurf with 3 viewport counts. Well, this is actually a quick way to add in subdivisions to increase the mesh density of the cube without having to, do it in here manually, which is fast enough, but sometimes subsurf is just simply easier to do. So check this out. If I took the default cube and subdivided it 3 times, take a look at the mesh density, just absorb this in, look at it, and let's say I add in a subsurf with 3 subdivisions instead. Well, it gives us a sphere because it kind of averages all the edges out. What we can do is crease the entire thing with Shift E. With everything selected, Shift E, we can press 1 to give a full crease, and then watch what happens if we apply the subsurf here. Literally exactly the same mesh density. We just were able to do that with the subsurf modifier, and the creases were there to basically prevent the subsurf from making it round. And after you apply the subsurf, you're more than welcome to remove it. You can also go to the end panel here under item and turn that off. You don't really need those creases anymore. So as you can see, creases are useful to use subsurfs, but without rounding or making the edges smooth. It keeps that hard surface design. Now, creases are especially useful primarily when you're dealing with booleans and n-gons. Obviously, if you add on a subdivision surface modifier with n-gons, the shading and distortion goes crazy. I'll demonstrate here. What I'm going to do is just add in a simple cutout. I'll do a cut like this. Actually, this is still going to give us quads, so what I think I'll do is use an n-gon cut. And just put in some really basic design here. And then we'll go ahead and apply that boolean to lock in the geo. So now as you can see, we have this, we have an n-gon up here, we have an n-gon here, n-gon here. You can see this is a face with more than 4 edges and an n-gon here. Now some of these are super near miss, so let me just merge these two. Just clean that up a little bit. If they're super close, there's no reason to not just merge them like that. So that looks pretty good to me. Now if we want to increase the mesh density, it's not as easy, because if we start subdividing, kind of gets really congested and weird around here. So we can actually just use a subsurf modifier. Try it again. You're going to see it works okay, but the shading's terrible because it's trying to subdivide these n-gons here. So we can simply go around to these edges. I'll just hold Alt and click. We also want to get these interior edges here, so be careful. We'll just go around and click all of these, and you can turn the subsurf off to make sure you got everything. Looks like we did. We'll turn that back on. Increase the mean crease to a value of 1. Check this out. Already looks way better. Now sometimes you have to really get in here and clean up some of these other areas because it gets rounded strangely, so maybe I'll go in here and join that up. Go to the other side, do the same thing, join this up, and perhaps what we could do is just simply use the auto merge and slide these down. So double tap G and get these merged together, and we're going to have to re-add the crease here. Look at that. So now we have completely clean shading here, and if you still didn't want this area to be rounded, you simply go in, boom, drop a crease. There you go, it's not rounded anymore. So any areas you don't want to have rounded, you can use a crease for. As a matter of fact, I'll just do that to the entire mesh. All these corners are rounded because of the subsurf, so I'm just going to go in here, get all these guys tightened up with a crease. Almost done. Just got to grab these here. Increase that to 1. Check this out. No more weird roundedness or anything. We can go ahead and apply the subsurf and take a look. We've increased the mesh density a lot without having any weird distortions because of the n-gons. Now the planar surfaces look really weird. Usually what I like to do on the planar surfaces where the n-gons were is I like to simply select a face, Shift G, and then coplanar. Same thing for these. We'll just go around and coplanar. It looks like this one's a little bit angled, so maybe we'll just really get in here and just start painting with the circle select tool. Like this. And then same for this guy, coplanar. And then you can simply press Control X to dissolve those areas out. And if it dissolves the whole thing, sometimes, unfortunately, you have to do all these manually. So we'll just go in here and do all of it manually. Just get in here. I'll show you a quicker way after this. I just want to show you one way you could clean this up. Control X, and then Control X. So now, as you can see, the geo looks a lot cleaner, and we're not going to really have any issues with these crazy n-gons because we're working with hard surface and bevels. Now, I probably put the subsurf way higher than I needed. A count of 1 or 2 would have probably been fine, because now if we try to apply a bevel, it's going to overlap basically immediately because of how close these edges are. So you might have to go around and dissolve some of them out to capture that easier, but yeah, you should get the point by now. So yeah, this is a quick and easy way to increase mesh density without getting any sort of distortions with the subsurf modifier. Like I said, sometimes you'll have to go in and dissolve out edges so the bevels don't overlap. Prime example, if I undo this here, I was just cleaning it up off camera. As you can see, these bevels overlap so soon. So you either need a really tiny bevel, which is not really optimal, or you just go in here and turn off the bevel so you can see it, and just dissolve out some of these edges that are closer to the edge. Control X, and yep, there you go. Just a quick and easy way to increase mesh density and get yourself some more geo to work with.